Hey, good day everyone. What's up? This is Sean David. Welcome back to the show. Let's talk some old school basketball. Today's episode is a highly requested video that I wanted to do for such a long time, but it took me a while, but here it is. In this video, I'm going to talk about the rise of the 1990s LA Lakers, how they became very good from, suffering quite a bit in the early 1990s. But before we start with this video, if you like the video, do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to support this channel, check out my Patreon account. That will be great too. And I would say, let's get into today's extreme long episode. Now we're going to start this video by taking a look at the late 1980s Los Angeles Lakers and how they went from very good to, well, not so good. The 1980s were probably the second best or maybe even the best time to be an NBA fan. In a league filled with countless superstars, it was dominated with many rivalries. But the one that always stood out, or let's say the mothership of the rivalries, were the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Boston Celtics. While the Celtics were loaded with countless superstars, the Lakers themselves had more legends on their roster than I can count. With Magic Johnson leading the Lakers into the next decade, ultimate legends like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Byron Scott, James Worthy, Bob McAdoo, Jamal Wilkes, and many, many more, the Lakers won 5 championships in the 1980s. With true geniuses behind the desk, for example Jerry West, you would think that the success would go on and on and on. But once the 1990s began, it looked like the Lakers finally ran out of luck. Now, it's obvious that it's impossible to win championship after championship, but the Lakers' downfall came so quick that it was hard to understand. In the late 1980s, the Bad Boy Pistons took over and became back-to-back champions. They were a very nasty but hungry team, and the Lakers could not keep up. In 1989, the captain and the all-time leading scorer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, finally said goodbye after 1,560 regular season NBA games, which of course was a big thing for the Lakers. That huge void, or let's say gap, was now to be filled by a very unknown Yugoslavian center named Vlade Divac.
When the captain, number 33, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, decided to retire last spring, the Lakers definitely had a big question mark to fill. But the smile on general manager Jerry West's face on draft day 1989 said it all. Because waiting there for the Lakers was a prototype NBA center. You know what I'm talking about. 7'1", big body, can shoot, rebound, run the floor. But the surprise was he wasn't coming from Georgetown, Syracuse, or UCLA. But would you believe Yugoslavia?
The Los Angeles Lakers select Vlade Divac from Partizan Belgrade, Yugoslavia.
The name is Divac, and while he may be only 21 years old, he already has 5 years of professional hoops under his belt. He's played the last 3 seasons for the Yugoslavia national team, and this past summer, he led his country's Olympic club to a silver medal. Now he's traveled some 8,000 miles to Los Angeles, and becoming a Laker is a dream come true.
He could not believe it. So the 2 biggest names from NBA in Yugoslavia are Lakers and Celtics. And he just couldn't believe that he's going to be playing for one of them. He's going to be playing for Lakers. It was a big shock.
Obviously, communicating is the hardest thing the 245-pounder has to overcome. And sometimes it can get a little embarrassing.
KJ.
Yeah, say that.
Okay. KJ.
No, K-H.
KH. J. KAJ.
On the court, though, understanding his teammates and coaches is not much of a problem at all.
It's universal. When you're out on the floor, I mean, players that play the game for a long time, the game speaks for itself. It really does.
Partizan. Vlade not only understands, he has even turned the tables on his teammates and taught the coaches and players a few Yugoslavian words.
One of them is called terce, which means run harder, and berzia, which is work.
Hershey Hawk. Out by the Rowitsky. Stolen by Divac. Dribble drive. Right to the floor. Lay it up and in.
In his rookie season, Vlade showed that he had some high potential, putting up 8.5 points per game as well as 6.2 rebounds. But of course, this was still far away from what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could do. In the 1991 season, the Lakers made it to the NBA Finals, but they were beat by the Chicago Bulls, who were just about to start their own dynasty. Then later the same year, Magic Johnson came out with one of the biggest press conferences in sports history.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today. I just want to make clear, first of all, that I do not have the AIDS disease, because I know a lot of you want to know that, but the HIV virus. My wife is fine, she's negative, so no problem with her. I plan on going on, living for a long time, bugging you guys like I've always have.
The 1992 NBA season looked totally different for the Los Angeles Lakers. No Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, no Magic Johnson, and no Pat Riley. The team was now coached by Mike Dunleavy and led by an aging James Worthy, who was still putting up good numbers, but of course was not in his prime anymore. The Lakers won 43 games that season and were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Portland Trail Blazers. Now let's have a look on their roster and their best scorers. Now on first sight you will see that there are not many players left from the golden age to Showtime Lakers. James Worthy was leading the way as I mentioned earlier, and the second leading scorer already was Sam Perkins with 16.5 points per game. The next player was Sadell Threat, Byron Scott, AC Green, and then yes, Vlade Divac. You had a young Elton Campbell and Tony Smith. This was a very, very tough time for the Los Angeles Lakers. Why? Well, they lost their identity. Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were the face of the Los Angeles Lakers for an entire decade. And now all of a sudden, the Showtime era was officially over. After the first losing season in over a decade, in the 1992-93 season, the Lakers started to rebuild. A 32-year-old James Worthy now came off the bench, and the young guns received a lot of playing time. One of the surprisingly best young players was a rookie named Nick the Quick Van Exel, a player that all other NBA teams ignored because of his difficult personality, and while it turned out to be true, on the floor, Nick was incredible.
On draft day, 28 NBA teams passed Van Exel by. But while others saw trouble, Lakers GM Jerry West saw a diamond in the rough.
It really doesn't matter where you're drafted. That's not even important. It's what you do once you're drafted.
The Los Angeles Lakers selected while we were away Nick Van Exel, the excellent point guard out of Cincinnati.
I said, no matter where I go, what team I go to, I'm going to succeed, I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to be happy. And to be drafted by the Lakers, that was unbelievable for me. From Kenosha, Wisconsin to LA, you can't ask for anything more.
Nick Van Exel came to Los Angeles in 1993 to join a team whose fortunes were more dire than his own. Following Magic Johnson's retirement from AIDS 2 years earlier, the once proud Lakers were in disarray. For Van Exel, it was just the challenge he'd been aching for.
They were in need of a point guard, and Nick was in need of a team that wanted him.
From the start, Van Exel electrified the Lakers.
How did he make that shot?
He scored 1,000 points as a rookie, hit 6 threes in one game,
Throws it up and throws it in!
and revived the spirit of Showtime in LA.
With a lot of antics I would do as far as, the boxing, the little dances, just creating a vibe that LA was used to.
Nick had a way of stirring up the crowd, when he would make outstanding plays. He liked that, and the crowd liked it.
If you have one of those guys on your team, you're going to see an awful lot of kids walking around with jerseys on that bear that player's name.
For me as an NBA fan, that era of the Los Angeles Lakers, so the mid-1990s, was very exciting. Of course, the Magic Johnson and James Worthy and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were gone, and it was a totally different thing, but still, it was exciting. In the 1993-94 season, the Lakers had 3 head coaches. Randy Fund, who was let go after 64 games, Bill Burtker, and at the end, yes, Magic Johnson. The following season, the Lakers signed head coach Del Harris, and from that point onwards, the Lakers started to improve drastically. One of the biggest reasons was a great rookie named Eddie Jones, a very versatile player that he can compare with today's Kawhi Leonard. A great two-way player that surprised the entire entire NBA and who helped the Lakers not only on the offensive end, but also to be more effective defensively on the perimeter. The Lakers won 48 games that season and made it to the Western Conference semifinals. The next season, the hopes were very high and everybody was thinking the Lakers now were ready to take the next step.
The resurgence of the LA Lakers was one of the big surprises of last season. Nick Van Exel emerged as the team leader, Cedric Ceballos became a capable scorer, and Eddie Jones's explosiveness made him one of the league's top rookies. Vlade Divac enjoyed his finest season, averaging 16 points and 10.5 rebounds per game. Now the team hopes that same consistency can come from the enigmatic Eldon Campbell.
I told Eldon last year in the playoffs, I said he's going to be very important to us because when he plays well, we play well. And I think in the playoffs, he showed that he could play. We did pretty good, but we didn't accomplish anything. So now this season, we're coming in with the same attitude. Eldon's going to have to show up. Vladdy's going to be there. And we all got to just help each other out. When one person's not doing well, you got to lift them up.
Yes, the Lakers took it to the next level, but nobody could foresee what exactly would happen. Magic Johnson had his NBA comeback and everybody went crazy. Of course, now being 36 years old and a lot heavier, Magic was not exactly the same player, but still helped the Lakers to win 53 games that season. But what looked like fun for NBA fans, in reality, was a huge problem. Magic was demanding the ball and wanted to run the show again. But Nick Van Exel, who had just established himself, had a problem with that. The chemistry all of a sudden now was off, and the Lakers lost in the first round of the playoffs. This also was the reason why Magic Johnson did not return after that season. But he did not have to worry. Jerry West had everything under control, making the two biggest moves of that year in trading Vlade Divac for rookie Kobe Bryant and signing Shaquille O'Neal, who at that point was just about to become the most dominant player in the NBA.
Right here, Shaq.
In case you haven't figured it out yet, I've signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. And keep in mind the word change. To me, change is for the good.
Obviously, this took the Los Angeles Lakers to new heights. But while Shaquille O'Neal was putting up his numbers and rookie Kobe Bryant was showing that he would be the future, it was a different player who was outstanding. The silent leader of the team was Eddie Jones.
Honored as an all-star, Jones is considered by some as the best defensive shooting guard in the league. And maybe even better than that, as Brent Weber reports for CNN.
On a team built around the volume that is Shaquille O'Neal, another All-Star provides the steady backbeat, which is holding the Lakers at their midseason pitch. Ask around and you'll hear, Eddie Jones is almost certainly LA's most complete player.
Well, I think he is. I think he's elevated his game tremendously. You know, he's beating people off the dribble. He's hitting the shots. He's defending, rebounding. You know, he's just doing everything that's asked of him. And I think he's had a awesome first half.
When the Lakers selected Jones 10th overall out of Temple 3 years ago, they knew they were getting an excellent college player. What they couldn't have known was how hard he would work at becoming one of the best all-around two guards in the NBA.
We just love Eddie Jones, and there's a lot of good players in the league, but obviously not only people here in Los Angeles, but other coaches in the West feel that he's worthy of being on the All-Star team, and that's a pretty good statement.
As a player, that's the goal. Another goal you set for yourself, to become better in every aspect of the game, not just stay at one level throughout your career. You know, I want to get better every year. I want to get better. I mean, I want to go as soon as this season is over with. I want to go back to the roots of where it started from, and just continue to grow as a player.
Eddie Jones was perfect for the young rookie Kobe Bryant. Eddie led by example and took Kobe under his wing, knowing that one day Kobe will take his spot. For the record, which also happened. Everybody on the team knew that Bryant was going to be incredible, but mentally, it took the youngster a while to adjust.
When Kobe first came into the league, it was a challenge because, you know, being a high school player, you're so dominant at that high school level, and right away you want to come and prove yourself at the professional level, which is totally different and is difficult. But Kobe had that poise, that determination to really want to do it. He really wanted to prove everybody that he belonged, and he belonged right away. He didn't feel he had to wait a couple years. He felt he belonged right away. His main thing was, when he first came in, is that I'm the best one-on-one player in the NBA. That was his main thing. And we would always try to tell him, you know, this game is not about one-on-one. It's a team game. But that was him. That was his drive, just to be the best, you know, one-on-one player. Because when he got the ball in the isolation situation, he felt he couldn't be stopped. And I think at a young age, when he first came in, I mean, he gave us fits in practice. You know, there's no lie about that. He was that good, and you know, he worked at everything he did. You know, those crazy shots that he takes with the 500 pump fakes and raise up and makes that shot. He literally worked on those things.
Now the Lakers had the foundation for the successful future in a young Kobe Bryant who would still need a few years to develop, and a Shaquille O'Neal who was just about to hit his prime. We all know how the story goes. The Lakers failed a couple of times in a row, but then Phil Jackson took over, the triangle offense came, and the rest is history. Now, if you talk to NBA fans about the 1990s Los Angeles Lakers, obviously most people talk about the Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal era. But as you can see in this video, the Lakers of the 1990s had a bigger history than just Shaq and Kobe. Alright you guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this extra long episode. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also check out my Patreon account. And I guess I'll see you next time. Peace. I'm out.